Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhidiritam kalma shapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Bhurida Jana. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotee M. Mahendranath Gupta at Shampukur House in North Kolkata regarding the importance of discussion of incarnation of God. We know that there was the physician of Sri Ramakrishna, homeopathic physician, Dr. Mahendralal Sarkar, who was a great scientist and believer in God. Nevertheless, he would not accept the theory that God, who is infinite, who is the creator of this universe, can condense himself in a finite form, whom we call the avatar, incarnation of God. As per our mythology, as per our belief and tradition, we believe that the Paramatma, the formless aspect of God, the ultimate reality, he takes a uniform human form to redeem the common people. It's not the fact that he comes only once. He comes again and again. We have discussed this theory at length in our previous classes, that we are all children of God and God wants that we go back to Him. To Him means to our original divine reality. We are all divine. The rishis of yore declared, Shrinvanta Vishve Amritasya Putraha. O ye the children of immortal bliss. We are all children of immortal bliss. We are not a born sinner here. This is the identification the rishis they proclaim out of their own realization. It's not an imagination. It's not a hypothesis or a theory. It is the realization, anubhuti. It has been said that God remains within us. Repeatedly has been said. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddeshya arjuna tishtati. Even the location has been specified. Within our heart, God decides. Not in a passive form, not in a sleeping way. He is extremely active. Not only active, He is the only active person within us. He is the operator of this instrument, of this body. He is a mechanic and we are the machine. We are just being operated every moment by God who is sitting within us. But unfortunately, we are not able to see Him, and most of us, we do not believe. We believe that we are the driver of our own unit, which is wrong. But in the Bhagavad Gita says that Ishvara is residing within the core of the heart of everyone. Not only human beings, all beings. But it is only the human beings who have the aptitude, the intelligence, the capacity to realize this noble truth. That's why the human birth is so precious. Only a human being can understand this reality, not others. So the other species, the birds, beasts, plants, etc., have to gradually evolve into the body of a human being to realize this great truth. But out of these human beings, hardly anybody has the opportunity to learn, to know about this golden truth. Most of us do not know that we are noble, we are divine. Most of us think that we are all sinners and we have to get rid of our sinful activities and become good. That is wrong. So hardly very few like you and me have heard this truth, that we are all divine. Second point is, after the knowledge must come to a reality. Simply thinking or imagination will not do. We must realize, see, be convinced of this truth. And in order, that is called realization of life, illumination of life. And for that, various sadhana, spiritual practices have been prescribed. But then it is a long drawn process. It takes a long time. Not only one births together. It has been said in the Bhagavad Gita, Aneka janma samsiddha tato jati param gatim. Param gatim means the ultimate realization that who am I? I am divine. I am infinity. I am Satchidanand. Knowledge absolute, bliss absolute, existence absolute. That is our real identity. But every one of us feel that I will die, I am ignorant, and I am unhappy. Contrary to our nature. It's not our nature, but contrary to our nature, we feel like this. So the goal is to come back to our own identification, realize that I am infinity, I am knowledge absolute, bliss absolute, existence absolute. For that, lot of sadhana, karma yoga, gyan yoga, etc. has been prescribed, and people follow that diligently. But then there is a shortcut which Sri Ramakrishna is talking about here, which is of interest to us. We are not interested to go to circuitous route of going for years and years and births to attain this reality. Sri Ramakrishna says there is a chut, there is a concession, shortcut. The shortcut is that if we can catch hold of the incarnation of God, then through Him we can get this realization very easily. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is telling to communicate to Mahendralal Sarkar, who did not know this or who refused to believe this truth. Now, this is not the novel thing Sri Ramakrishna is telling. It has been told that ages before in our Shastras, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. In 4th chapter, verse 9, that whenever there is the prevalence of unrighteousness and subnegation of righteousness, God appears on the earth to restore balance, to protect the virtuous and annihilate the wrongdoers and restore the dharma. Now that you know, in our Shastra there are a lot of avatars have been prescribed, and there are many avatars who are not included in our Shastras. And we believe that, let's say, Ramachandra, Krishna, Buddha, etc. are our bona fide incarnations of God. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that the shortcut to attain freedom is to study the life and teachings of these incarnations of God. if we study the lives and teachings of the incarnations of God, that will take us away from all ignorance and will attain illumination. Janma karma chame divyam jomam veti tattvaha tyakta deha punarjanma naiti mameti sarjuda. That's what Sri Krishna says. Now, this truth, Sri Ramakrishna, being an incarnation of God, wants to propagate to others. Unless this truth is propagated, then advent of the incarnation becomes futile. If nobody knows what is his greatness, then his coming is meaningless. If he comes in incognito and goes back, then the purpose is not solved. Now Sri Ramakrishna came in disguise. Nobody knew that he was an avatar. During his lifetime, hardly anybody knew. He is not very far from in the period of history. He was born in 1836 and passed away in 1886. Hardly 150 years ago. And during his lifetime, hardly anybody knew that he was an incarnation of God. Even now, only a handful number of people know. Gradually it is being known. So now it is interesting to note here that Avatara, Sri Ramakrishna himself, is propagating the principle of incarnation of God, so that people may take advantage of his advent. It's an interesting conversation that Mahendralal Sarkar has with Sri Ramakrishna and says that you are a very simple person, you are a saintly person, but here a group of people are trying to make fuss of it and say that you are an incarnation of God, which is a bogus theory. It cannot be. Sri Ramakrishna did not object. He was of the idea that people should accept him with their own view, not be forced. That is not scientific. We should try to analyze his life and teachings and then make a decision of ourselves, what he is. And the level of our spiritual growth depends on our estimation of Sri Ramakrishna. Some people think that he is a saint, some people think that he is the beginner of a philosophy and simple person. Some think that he is an incarnation of God. Now Sri Ramakrishna says to M that please tell Mahendralal Sarkar that he is an incarnation of God who redeems others. The new definition he gives. जो तारते हैं वही अवतार है. The dictionary meaning of avatar is this. जो अवतरण करते हैं, he who descends. God is stationed in his own abode, but he comes down to earth to help us, to help his children, to help us to come to our own divine existence. God becomes man so that man may become God. That's why it is called incarnation. He descends. Now I have already discussed that how the infinite God becomes finite cannot be rationally established, because it is a contradiction of term. Infinity cannot become finite. But then God is beyond the thought and word. It cannot be rationalized but accepted. the birth of God, though there is a calendar date when he was born, but God does not become, he is not born like other mortals. There is a biological process for the birth of a child. We all know that the connection of a male and female gives birth to gradual fructification of the birth of a baby. In appearance, though these things happen in case of incarnation of God, but in reality the situation is different. He is not born, he appears to be born. This has to be understood. भगवान प्रकट हो जाते हैं. So Shankaracharya in his commentary of Bhagavad Gita says, स भगवान नित्य बुद्ध मुक्त स्वभाव ओपि सन जातवान इव देहवान इव परिलक्ष्यते. That God whose infinity, who is eternal, who is all-knowing, who is all-compassionate, he appears to be born, he appears to be having a body. Now if you look at the history, what is available as per the birth of the incarnations of God recorded, like in Ramayana we have got the recording of how Rama was born. In the Bhagavatam it is recorded how Sri Krishna was born. Similarly in the gospel, in the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna Lila Prasang, the recording is there how Sri Ramakrishna was born. If you minutely see, you will find that it is something very, very different than ordinary birth. In the case of Ramachandra, it is written, you must have read in the Ramcharitmanas and at least, and Valmiki Ramayana if not, that when Ramchandra was born, perhaps you know this history that the birth of Ramchandra, that not very far in Naimisharanya, you must all visit Naimisharanya. It is not very far. It is 65 kilometers away to Sitapur, where there is a place, it is shown that the tapas of Manu. Manu is known in Krita Yuga, in Satya Yuga. He was the emperor of the old world. At the end of his tenure, he retired from his kingdom and with his wife Satarupa, he came and did penance for a very long time in Naimisharanya. That cave is there, Guhasthal, Manu Satarvika Tapasthal. After long years of penance, then Bhagavan Vishnu appeared and he said, I am pleased with your penance. What do you want? Then he said, we have got everything in our life because I was an emperor of the world. But I have one desire left. We want to have a son like you because you are all perfect. You are extremely beautiful, extremely kind, and all the good qualities are personified in you. We want a son like you. Then Bhagavan Vishnu said, there cannot be anybody like me. I am unparalleled. If you want a son, then I have to be born. There is no alternative. I do not have a duplicate. So that will happen in your next birth. You will be born as King Dasharatha in Ajodhya, and she will be born as Kaushalya. as his queen. And in your place, in your area, in your bhavan, I will appear. So they said, all right. So accordingly, we know the story that how Dasharatha and Kaushalya. Now Dasharatha was a child, he didn't have a child. He did all Havan, etc., some Choru came, it's all alokik, not lokik. And when actually the child was born, the description is given in Ramcharitmanas, in Valmiki Ramayana, all Ramayanas, as per the tradition, that Bhagavan Vishnu appeared before Kaushalya as in his own form, with 4 hands, with his weapons and all ornaments, smiling as God himself. So everybody was surprised in his effulgence. The angels came, they went on praying. Then Kaushalya said, हे प्रभु, आप हमारे संतान होके आप लीला करो, भगवान होके नहीं. I wanted you as my son, and I didn't want God as God. Then Bhagavan suddenly he condensed his all beauties and became like a child and started weeping. Bhai pragat pragbala dina dayala rodana thana. Then he started. So that is a play, divine play. Same thing has been recorded with the birth of Sri Krishna. He appeared in the prison of Kamsa as the son of Devaki and Vasudev, with all full hair, and he is all nicely clothed and beautiful, all abhushana, ornaments, weapons. The child is never born with all these. And then afterwards, he condensed his divine effulgence and became like a ordinary child. The similar thing in every case, in the case of Sri Ramakrishna, when he was born, then the local, this country nurse was engaged for this nativity, then no one was found. He was missing. The child was missing. At the time of his birth, that his mother Chandamani Devi became in senseless state, and there was no one around. Suddenly the child was found from inside the oven, all smeared with ashes. And somehow it was recovered, and then he started weeping. So all very alokik and all very supernatural descriptions given. Now that is not the point of our discussion. The point of our discussion is that God comes in appearance of a human body, and his conversations are recorded as in the past and is the present now. The working of Rama is recorded in the Ramayana, the Krishna in Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Buddha in the Pali tradition, Jesus in Bible, everything is recorded. So is Sri Ramakrishna, which we are discussing, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. His conversations have been recorded in clear terms and published, and so many people are following. So we do not deny that there was a person like Sri Ramakrishna. He is a historic, recorded personality. But the difference is, when we study his life and teachings, then we get our desired goal of life. Our desired goal of life is to realize who we are. That is called freedom. Everyone in this world who is born must die, and those who die must be born again to bear the cross. Whatever works we do, it produces fruits, and we have to reap the harvest. No one else will do it for us. And this goes from one birth to another birth. But only when we become free of this shackle of birth and death, then we are not born again. And one of the methods, shortcut method, one of the methods is to take refuge in an incarnation of God. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is inviting us. Not only Sri Ramakrishna, all the incarnations of God, they invite, call all the human beings to become free. In the Bible, Jesus says, "Come, all ye that are heavily laden, come unto me, I will give you rest." मेरे पास आ जाओ, हम तुम्हें उद्धार कर दूंगा. Sri Krishna gives a call. सर्व धर्मान परित्यज्य मामेकम शरणम व्रज अहम ता सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. Don't worry, come to me. I will give you the liberation, I will make you understand who you are. So it is as simple as that. Instead of going by this round the way, the long route of doing sadhana and penance, we come to the incarnation of God, whoever is preferable for us. Anyone will do. And since Sri Ramakrishna is the recent, he is more appealing to our reasoning, to our way of life, and direct message. He didn't give any long scholarly message because he himself was not a scholar. He could hardly read or write. But his message is simple so that we can accept it without any confusion. And if we follow his words, that's enough to become free in this life and realize our goal of life, who we are. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says that tell everyone the importance of avatar. He has come to redeem us, to deliver us, to give us back our lost identity. Let us take this golden opportunity and become free. Here he says, tell Dr. Sarkar that he who delivers, जो तारते हैं, he is avatar. So we should be extremely eager and serious to study his life and teachings. And then he says that 10 अवतार है, 24 अवतार है, असंख्य अवतार है. Primarily there are 10 avatars. In our Hindu philosophy, we have got 10 different incarnations of God. So if we study, it's all recorded in our Puranas. So Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nishinga, Vamana, Nishinga, Ram, Krishna, Buddha. Evam, lastly, Kalki. Now, first is the Matsya avatar. So Sri Ramakrishna says that if you study the life and teachings of each of these avatars, that elevates our understanding, that brings us closer to God. Here is the relevance of study of the life and teachings of the avatars. So he has said the 10 avatars, we will take up one by one, 10 avatars, and then he says about 24 avatars. That also we will have to take up one by one, and you see that each one of them gives a specific message and inspiration to draw us closer to God. We close now with this introduction to start the descriptions of the incarnations of God from our next Sunday lecture. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa pranami. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Any question? If not, you can send me the questions by your email rkml@rkml.org. Next Sunday we will have the birth anniversary of Srimad Sharda Devi, the divine escort of Sri Ramakrishna. And next Sunday class will be devoted the sayings of Sri Ramakrishna regarding Sarada Devi. Srimad Sharda Devi in the eyes of Sri Ramakrishna. There will be topic for next Sunday. And from Sunday afterwards, we will study the details of these incarnations of God. We close now with the chanting of the Lord. Please join with me. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om.